Hello everyone, my name is John Hunter and I'm the Aerospace Education Officer for Florida 816, the Lee County Schools Cadet Squadron. I've made a small model of an airfield for instructional purposes, and I have about 3 objectives in mind. The first objective is to give cadets that are taking orientation flights a little bit of an idea of what an airfield is and what goes on during their flight. I think maybe it might enhance their experience. The second reason is that it fulfills part of Module 2 of the Cadet Aerospace Education curriculum. And finally, for the seniors that are not aircrew, it may give them an idea as well of what happens at an airport and what happens through a flight. So let's get started. This is a model of a mid-sized airfield, typical of hundreds of them that are scattered around the continental United States. It's a fictitious airfield, and so I have named it Pegasus Field. Pegasus Field has 2 radio frequencies, a ground frequency of 121.7 and a tower frequency of 118.8. And it's also 612 feet above sea level. The ground frequency of 121.7 is used by the air traffic controllers to control all vehicle and aircraft traffic on the ground within the bounds of the airfield. The tower frequency of 118.8 is used by the air traffic controllers to control all aircraft taking off and landing, and also all aircraft flying within the control zone of the airfield. So let's start with the simple stuff and look at the various buildings. The most important building on the airport has to be the air traffic control tower. It's usually 3 or 4 stories high, has 360-degree visibility, and this is where the air traffic controllers, using these radio frequencies, control all the traffic on the ground and in the air. And next to that in this model is the terminal building. I'm sure you're all familiar with terminals. They are mainly for the use of passengers embarking, disembarking, ticketing, luggage, security checks, washrooms, restaurants, you name it. Sometimes attached to the terminal building is a garage for vehicles, all the maintenance vehicles and emergency vehicles for the airport. Sometimes that garage is detached. Then there's another very important building, the FBO, or the Fixed Base Operator. The Fixed Base Operator is usually sponsored by one of the major oil companies, and its function is to provide fuel and lubricants to the aircraft. Sometimes the FBO has a small lounge for pilots to relax, and sometimes weather and flight planning. And finally, scattered around the perimeter of the airport are great big buildings called hangars. And these are basically nothing more than great big sheds to store aircraft out of the elements. And for the purposes of this model, I've just called them by their geographical location: the northeast hangar, the southeast, and the southwest hangar.